1995, Dead Men Walking, Antonia State Penitentiary, February 14th. The degree to which a society is civilized can be judged by entering its prisons. Dostoevsky. The quote had been etched into the paint, and not a word of Russian could he relate. But the thought was very clear. The slam of the gate having just occurred, it was the slam of a gavel, coupled with a man's words that echoed in his ear. A man formed by blood flesh and experiences just like himself. Yet this man was his judge. And an uncompromising one he'd been, cloaked in black, his throne exalted. To his right, a Roman eagle-topped mace held a gold-embroidered American flag, a symbol of his supreme authority in that forum, an authority that left the boy's supporters feeling numb that morning when he was sentenced to the maximum. 5 years! The gavel slammed. You are to begin serving that time immediately. Good luck to you, sir. No surprise. If the statistics were correct, this life had given him 2 choices, heaven or hell, freedom or jail. With the whole world, it seemed, against him, he wondered why he was still alive, as he came to grips with the possibilities, in the event of his demise.
California, Los Angeles, firing squad records. Marlon Poo. Dark awoke early this March morning. He'd worked out in the gym of his estate, did a few laps around the pool, showered, dressed, and drove his custom lowrider to the automobile detailing shop he owned, where he kept a fleet of luxury cars. There he had crucial decisions to make. Let's see red or white, ALC, or the drop. A short time later, he pulled one of the Rolls-Royces into his company's parking lot, strolled past the cameras and security guards, then past the gasping employees, leaving a trail of Cohiba smoke in his wake. He entered an opulent office, decorated boorishly in red, picked up the phone, and made a call to his interior decorator. He wanted the logo on the floor changed to match his mood. Yeah, be at my office in an hour. I'm out. After dealing with the years of lawsuits, payoffs, and huge cash settlements that came as a result of his strong negotiations, an LA County judge had finally sentenced Poo for his role in a 1992 assault and weapons case. His punishment ended up being 5 years probation and 30 days in a halfway house. He'd left there today a relatively free man and gone right back to his life as CEO of a now billion-dollar company. To the millions who were buying his records and possibly the many more who were paying attention, Firing Squad Records and Marlon Dark in particular had reached their own mythic status. They were hood heroes, the new untouchables, and he was the new and improved 325-pound Teflon Don. But neither wealth nor freedom nor dominating the industry could satisfy Poo. Numerous rumors since the one about the roof proved that his true joy came from humiliating his enemies. There'd been several broken jaws. The pro wrestlers he made get on their knees and beg like dogs. Some poor bastard that was made to drink his brand of distilled champagne, and a really wild one about Poo knocking out the horse of a mounted policeman who tried to break Browl. It was all part of keeping the competition to a minimum. Before his bid, he'd set in motion a plan to eliminate what the few critics who dared to write about him called his biggest rival, a scrawny little peacock from the East who by his own admission had modeled his company after Firing Squad and who produced what Poo considered to be no good knockoffs of his material. Fucking critics, how dare they mention the two of them in the same breath? In the coming months, he'd undeniably separate himself from those cowards at Youth Authority by brazenly declaring war on them at an awards ceremony and crushing any hopes of the two ever making peace. Not since 1861 had so many prepared for battle on American soil. Poo's declaration would have troops from north to south and east to west screaming fuck peace and choosing sides. He smiled in sidle. The board was set just like he'd planned it. One more piece, and he'd have niggers fighting across the whole planet.
Antonia State Penitentiary, April. You name it. I had it, man. The cars, the cribs, and the cash. Yeah, I know her. I used to tap that back in the day when she was fine. You forgot about me, huh? Remember when I used to run the block back in '89? On D Block, few of the prisoners had futures, but all of them had pasts. and with an audience unable to escape, they'd chosen now as the time to share their stories, regardless of how sad. Too stubborn to ask for forgiveness, the prisoners held on tight to their sins. For them, sins were all they had. Determined not to share their fate, the boy had been busy putting the last 4 months behind him. In December, he'd been judged a flight risk. His bail was revoked and he was sent to Rikers Island. For the last month, he'd kept himself busy adjusting to solitude of this level 4 maximum security prison. 23 hours a day were spent alone in the dark, breathing the pungent smell of stagnant shit around the clock, while listening to the hardest thugs screaming all night and wishing they'd stop. But that was the past, over as of this morning. This afternoon, a bald and bearded, burly and barrel-chested CO walked him down the hall to the visiting area. So you're him? Who am I? I know about you. Mr. Fuck-a-Cop, we ain't gonna have you and your Billy badass nigger buddy out there starting trouble in our house. I'm the leader of the only gang that matters in here. What gang is that? Captain Noakes raised his sleeve and showed the boy a tattoo of a robed night rider. On its forehead, a single red eye bulged grotesquely through its white hood. You best be fearing that, boy. That means something. You're looking at an exalted cyclops in the invisible empire. The shit you heard ain't do me justice, did it? Hoes in hoods don't scare me.
Look inside my first disc. You'll see I got the Malleus Maleficarum for you bitches.
Noakes' face and neck turned a purplish red. He slapped the boy and drew his club. The boy dropped to the ground, covered up and waited for the beating, but instead of feeling blows, he heard a voice.
Are you all right over there, Captain Noakes? Maybe I should call this incident in. Noakes frowned and put the club away.
No, Sergeant. No need for that. We'll see how tough the rich nigger is when goes into general population. The voice had saved the boy for the moment. Noakes snatched him to his feet and placed him in the officer's custody before storming off. Your prisoner, Sergeant Peterson. The boy thanked his savior. Sir, you should take a look around you. Think about where you are and who's in charge. This is not a game. People die in here every day. Is that what you want? No, ma'am. Good. She tapped the glass. The gate buzzed, and in the next room, another officer pointed to a table where Marlon Dark sat larger than life. Pooh, damn man, what you doing here? Came to check out my homeboy. See how they treating you in here. I've been better, but I'll make it through. Oh, I know that. You a strong brother. They'd met at a Periscope function sometime in '93. Knowing the boy's financial troubles, Pooh offered to sign him to his label. And knowing his reputation, the boy politely declined. But Pooh was secure and could wait for the things he wanted. Instead of persisting, he planted a seed. What you normally get for a song. Normally about 25 G's. Yeah? Pooh wrote out a check and handed it to him. I got a project coming up soon. $250,000. What's this? Pooh pat him on the back. That's just a portion of what we pay for talent at Firing Squad. Since then, he'd always reminded the boy that he had place reserved on his roster. They chit-chat for a few. You want me to set up some conjugals? Asked Pooh. Nah, I'm getting married in a few days. My wife will take care of all that. They laughed. Man, I heard about Double E, said the boy. That's fucked up. Last month, Edgar Evans had made history again when he became the industry's first AIDS casualty. Pooh shrugged. What happens in the dark always come to light. It's been a rumor going round that him and Q was fucking each other. The boy eased away from that. So, what else is going on in the world, Pooh? What people talking about? Pooh's assistant removed a Wall Street Journal and a Vibe magazine from his briefcase. Pooh dropped them on the table. You. The boy picked up the magazine, read through it, and dropped it back on the table. That's it, he said, just like I told the reporter. That ain't what they saying over at YA. You can't trust Dizzy, man. And the Titan, that nigga like a big-ass parrot on his shoulder, consigning everything he say. You ain't gotta tell me, said Pooh. I don't believe shit that comes out of Diz's mouth. He like a little kid when you catch him doing wrong, he get all shifty-eyed, looking around for something to say. The boy agreed. Man, look, my people got some shit you should hear. But first I need you to separate fiction from fact. What really happened? The boy figured the whole truth needed to be told. Aight, it all goes back to that night at the hotel. I met her on a Friday. 5 minutes after we met, she went down on me in the club. I took her to the hotel and we got busy. After I saw her in the light, I ain't really want to see her no more. On Saturday, me and the homies went out clubbing again. That Sunday, I spent most of the day with my girl, Nia. And when I got to the hotel that evening, Trini, Glover, and J.I. was there drinking. Trini tells me that the girl from the club called a couple of times. He keeps talking about how hot her body is and telling me to call her back. I had just got some pussy, so I really wasn't trying to fuck. But this nigga is at me. I knew what they was on, and I ain't with all that gangbanging shit. I like to keep my nuts out of close proximity with other niggas, so I said, maybe when I get out the shower. I'm hoping they'd be on something else by then, because we had some business to handle later that night. When I get out, J.I. tells me she called and Trini talked to her and told her to come over. I'm like, whatever, fuck it, that's on them. A few minutes later, J.I. answers the phone. It's her. I told him to send her up. It's tripped out when she gets there because we straight chillin'. I'm sitting there smoking in boxers and slippers and she dressed like she going to a ball or something. Anyway, I'm sitting on the couch and she comes sit next to me. By this time, the weed is kicking in and the whole vibe is just wrong. Like how? I'd get up and get a drink or go to the window, and when I'd come back, I'd purposely sit somewhere and she'd get up and follow me. Plus, I'm peeping how these niggas' eyes is following her. You ever see that one, Woody Woodpecker, Pantry Panic, where it's winter and Woody and the kitty cat is starving they ass off? Then they see each other? Well, that's how niggas was looking. Like they was some hungry-ass Ethiopian kids and she was food. I told you. Bad vibes, man. So I snatch her up and take her to the room to break the tension. She don't even know you trying to save her ass, Pooh. Literally. Like I said, the weed had kicked in by then and she looking better. We in there about 20 minutes when the door opened and they came in. Was y'all fucking? Not yet. On my mama, they had to be peeking through the door or something because I had just pulled up her dress. You should have checked them niggas right there. I'ma keep it real. If that was me, they would have had to get their own rooms. Ain't no busters gonna be chilling in my $800 a night suite. You right, but you ain't wanna look like you was caking the bitch. Right. So what you do when they came in? I kind of tensed up. Like I said, I ain't with that shit. But honey acted like she ain't care. She ain't say nothing. She just kept going at it in front of everybody like that night in the club. That's when I hear Trini in the corner sounding like he directing movie. Move her over, spread her ass cheeks apart. I was like, yo, fuck this crank. I'm up. I got up, went in the other room and passed it out. When Trini woke me up, I was groggy and shit was weird. I remember the radio was off and the TV was on and all the lights were on, all of them. Everybody had their clothes on but me, and old girl is crying, threatening me with the police and shit. All I could think was, they gonna do me like they did Mike Tyson. I'm at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yo, either come here and holler at me or bounce. I had been through too much court to be hearing that crazy shit. Trini and Glover was like, we'll take care of it. Then they went after her. J.I. rolled a blunt and we smoked for like a minute. Then he was like, I'ma go downstairs and see what's taking so long. I should have known something cause J.I. had got real close with them niggas since we'd all been hanging out. So he left and I was the only one in the room. It was quiet and I was thinking, what the fuck is going on? Then I heard that knock. Pooh was looking directly at him, shaking his head. And don't nobody else knock like that? He said, how you feel about it now? What? Asked the boy. You mean about what happened to her? All of it. I feel bad for her if it really happened. What you mean? I mean, this shit is all twisted. Some pieces don't fit. You know they gave her a physical. They never found no DNA. They ain't find no evidence at all. Remember, I left the room and went to sleep, so it could have happened like she say it did, or they could have been in the next room plotting. I can't tell you what happened in there. But I can tell you that everybody in that room is walking the streets free while I'm in jail. That's wrong. You gotta be more careful about who you let hang around. Niggas will front like they your homies and really be some phony motherfuckers. What happened with you and the Titan? Leading up to the shooting, we was both real busy and hadn't been hanging out. Then I ran into him and Dizzy walking in the hotel with this dude, Roberto. Yeah, I heard about him. Didn't he used to run with that Jamaican crew? Right, the Untouchables. So T pulled me to the side and he's like, yo, watch your back, man. Woo, woo, woo. But he ain't saying no names. And I'm like, what's the deal? He kept telling me he was gonna see me, but he never did. And believe me,
I'm hoping that he's listening. Seeing niggas coming for me. My diamonds when they glisten.
that's when Pooh asked the million-dollar question. You think he set you up?
The boy took a deep breath and scanned the visiting area for just the right words.
Nah, I don't think he set me up. But he knew niggas was coming for me. Them niggas was from Brooklyn. He had to know something. And fucking J.I. I've been taking care of that cat ever since I got signed. That nigga looked like Debo compared to them punks. Plus he had a strap and ain't do shit. Man, when I see that nigga, the boy was all fired up and Pooh loved to see him that way. Yo, he better holler at me.
Gotta be careful, can't let the evil of the money trap me. So when you see me, nigga, you better holler at me.
He pushed the magazine Pooh's way. Read the interview again. You'll see what happened. Pooh got a pencil and paper from his assistant, moved his chair closer to the table, then lowered his voice and said, I'ma tell you what happened that night. The boy moved closer and Pooh began writing. James Avingian, Daniel Blaylock. The boy studied the two names for a moment. He'd never heard of them. You know how some people think Glover is Trenny? Asked Pooh. Yeah. Well, Trenny ain't really Trenny. He started scribbling again. In the mid-'80s, the real Trenny Forte was large, especially in Haiti. His team had a good thing going. They moved coke and weed from South America as far north as South Carolina. From there, the Untouchables took it further north and did their thing. In the late 80s, the DEA started cracking down. By 1990, they had his whole operation. Niggas who know say it was a raid in Miami and Trenny got popped. James Avingian was one of his connects down there. A few months after the raid, he pops up in New York with a new name. The boy looked over the paper a number of times, not knowing what to believe. He'd been done in by people he'd called friends, something he'd never called Pooh. Jealous niggas and broke bitches equal packet jails.
That's the second thing you learn in prison. Trust nobody. That's the first, and if he ever forgot, the gunshot wounds would always be there to remind him. He wondered what Pooh's people had to say about those.
That explains a lot, but I ain't have shit to do with that business. That ain't what got me shot. You right, keep up with me, cause the ride gets tricky. I ain't gotta tell you how any and everybody was looking for a way to launder their money. Some of these so-called record execs is more shadier than others. Pooh laughed to himself and started writing again. Around the same time Trenny went down, Roberto took a few bullets and caught a case. Nickel and dime shit. He did a couple of years and decided to go straight when he got out. He and Trenny used to be boys in Miami when he was still James, so he knows the deal. They make a deal. Trenny puts up the money for the record label and Roberto supposed run it. Now it's two sides to it. If they find a decent artist, then Roberto does his thing with him. That's all legit. They sign him to a bogus-ass contract, but it's still legit. But if they find a nigga that's sweet, that's where Trenny Nem come in. They extort the nigga, have him paying for protection and shit like that. The boy sat up in his seat, waving his hand. They never came at me like that. Pooh waved him back down. I know.
You were too big for them to be pulling that shit on. And after y'all start hanging out, Trenny took a liking to you. They all did, but Trenny especially. He figures the best thing for him is to get in close with you so you can help put him onto other niggas in the industry and make the business seem more legit. Basically, they was gonna use you. The boy shook his head.
Okay, I can see that one. That's exactly what they was trying to do. So that night at the hotel, that was a setup, right? Pooh laughed. Nah, man, your boy is just a cum freak. Them niggas got real kinky with that bitch. I heard they had the big orange ball in her mouth and everything. Well, what the fuck she go and put my name in it for? Why she ain't? The hoe was mad, said Pooh. Put yourself in her position. She went there to get with Chew and you dissed her. Then that shit happens. Man, why ain't a Chew talk business with her instead of letting Trenny and them do it? I don't know, man. Big mistake. You should have handled that yourself. Pooh started writing, but when it was all said and done, it was the statements your lawyers made to the press, what they said about the mayor and city hall coming down on y'all. That was the underlying cause for your arrest. Them people like to move in the shadows. The boy knew that was true. Even before they became enemies, Trini made a big deal about his anonymity. Fucking snitch, he said, lowering his head. I knew he was working for the feds. You wasn't supposed to get shot. They wanted to shut you up, but they ain't know the rules. Pooh winked, reached across the table, and bumped fists with the boy. There you was, a young nigga with heart and a strap. You ain't have shit to lose. Grateful for his tacit, the boy leaned forward and whispered with eyes full of malice. Hey, Pooh, you know the names of the niggas who shot me? Pooh's smile was wicked. Some of them, it's a gang of snitches working for the feds. They call theyself the Illuminati. Month 5. Mayday. Nia was a good girl, not a groupie, a future cum laude who'd made the boy wait a couple of dates before Thigh did it. He decided that since they'd been together a few months before he went in, he could trust her enough to make her his wife. Father Lorenzo Cronin of the Church of the Good Thief had performed the wedding ceremony less than a week ago. Since then, Nia had moved into a motel near the prison and visited as much as she was allowed. The day after the wedding, Sergeant Peterson informed her that the information the boy had requested was contraband and wouldn't be allowed in. Sergeant Peterson helped him once again when she flew a kite to the boy via Nia and at 11:50 p.m. April 31st, Corrections Officer Remy Mira pushed open his cell door. Follow me if you want to live. The boy got up and went as the guard led him to a dark and empty church where he lit a cigarette. The flame from the lighter gave life to his many tattoos. On his neck was a phoenix clutching a swastika. Above it, the letters DOC. On his wrist, thick black words read, blood and honor. The boy pulled out his shank. Remy pulled out his and said, take it easy, man. You need to listen because we ain't got much time. In 10 minutes, Captain Noki's and the Aryans are having a party and they plan to make you the stripper. Get the fuck out of here. No joke, my man. I am on my way there and I am letting you know in advance. Do not go back to your cell tonight. The boy viewed him askance. If you with the Brotherhood, why are you helping me? Unsure of that himself, Mira took a drag and tried to explain. I got a cousin a couple of years younger than me who's been listening to your shit for years. He's all into hip hop. Me and his twin brother Romulus were always ragging on him about it, but he never would back down. About a year ago, they get into it and Romulus ends up dead. Dumbass. Remy took another drag and forced out the smoke. Something's wrong with Ramos's head, man. That desert storm syndrome shit is real. Anyway, he's in a tent city in Arizona now. When he heard you were here, he wrote and told me this war story he'd never told me before. I didn't believe it until I listened to your music for myself. Mira held out his hand. I feel you, brother. After they shook, he gave the boy a pen
and paper. He asked me to get your autograph, too. Seconds after signing, Remy whispered, you can only believe half of what Cronin says. He's a Jesuit, and they perfected using blown cover as cover.
The boy was befuddled. Cronin was a man of the cloth, and what little he knew about the Order of the Society of Jesus did not fit the warning. Founded in Spain in 1534 by St. Ignatius Loyola, they'd made their reputation as the Pope's most devout priests by promoting the faith, teaching the young, and providing counsel to educators, politicians, and princes. I thought they were good guys. Mira uttered 14 words. Don't let the cloth fool you. Traitors and Zionist collaborators is what they are. The boy nodded, and Remy continued. Jesuits are the agents of the Vatican. For years, the Pope has dealt with charges that he's had them meddling in secular affairs, running drugs, and bombing Flight 103 with P2. Mira blew his Marlboro smoke into the air. But maybe he shouldn't be blamed. Another name for a Jesuit is an Ignatian. And an Ignatian is one who's under oath to perform clandestine services for the Society of Jesus Superior General, aka the Black Pope. He is the real leader of Vatican policy and thereby the religious arm of the empire. Mira left at the stroke of midnight. The boy found his way through the pews to the confessional. Once inside, he asked, "What's this about? Who's over there? You've got friends in high places, my son." He recognized the voice, but a shadow covered the face. "Father Cronin, perhaps it would be best if we remain nameless. Wouldn't you agree?" "I would. What's this about?" "It has been brought to my attention that we share a common enemy." "Who?" "Enigmas," sighed the father. "They go by so many names, yet little is known about any. They lay claim to the top 13% of society and are said to rule all things secular. They are the unseen, the Brotherhood of Shadows. You may know them as the Men in Black." "You mean the Illuminati?" "That is correct. Look below you." The boy reached under his seat and picked up a book, The Art of the Illuminati. He looked at the cover. "I know this. It's the Great Seal of the United States. To them, it is known as the Shining Delta. It symbolizes their ability to keep watch over all things. That is why they address themselves as gods and kings." The boy flipped through the pages as Father Cronin explained. Adam Weishaupt, a disgruntled professor of religious studies at the University of Ingolstadt in Bavaria, founded the Illuminati in 1776. It was meant to be a society of freethinkers opposed to the beliefs of the church. Weishaupt had come to believe that religion and worship of God were the root of man's problems, and through the process of illumination, certain individuals could be made perfect without God. "So they're atheists." "They are Satanists," bellowed Father Cronin, with such force that phlegm loosened in his chest. "Theirs is more than just a conspiracy against religion. They are the soldiers for God's original adversary. You know of him, yes?" "No." "I will tell you a story then." The father cleared his throat and settled down. "Once there was in heaven a particularly beautiful angel, the best and brightest of all, the angel of light. Lucifer, that is correct. Lucifer was God's favorite. But pride and vanity were his greatest sins. So when God formed Adam from the earth, so pleased was he with his creation that God insisted the angels submit to Adam. Lucifer, full of insolence, refused, going so far as to question God as to why a son of fire should bow to one of clay. So that's when his revolt began. Not quite. That was the argument. For the next 9 days, 1/3 of heaven's angels fell. When at last God raised his hand to stop them,
133,306,668
were encapsulated in flesh wherever they were at that moment. Some became creatures of the earth, some the air, and others the waters. And there were some who by that time had made the descent into Sheol. They emerged from the fiery pit, vile and grotesque creatures. Lucifer was one of them. For the next 3 days, he gathered as many of his legions as possible. And on the morning of the 4th day, Lucifer shone as bright as 10,000 suns when he led the attack on heaven. At the gates cursed God, declaring war on him and his precious creation, vowing that if he could not rule there, he would surely be prince here. With that, the archangel Michael ordered the trumpets blown, and the seraphim drew their swords. And that is the day the war began. Father Cronin hesitated before asking, "Have you any idea what that day was?" "None," answered the boy. "It was today, May 1st, the very day that Mr. Weishaupt chose to found his order. You must understand that for ages, Lucifer's minions had been scattered, lost souls aimlessly wreaking havoc. Weishaupt's coven gave them a home, and for nearly 220 now years they've been gathering, rebuilding, and relearning what had long been forgotten. They are now the top 13% of society, wealthy and powerful individuals who have infiltrated key positions worldwide. And now that their pyramid of nations is almost complete, the time is fast approaching for their leader to claim his throne." Mira's warning crossed the boy's mind. "Why haven't I heard this before?" he asked. "Who would have told you? The people of your ghettos are not ready for this new world order. Furthermore, that information has been blacklisted. That is why, for centuries, whenever there were wars or invasions, the temples and libraries were the first to be destroyed. It was all part of Brotherhood's plan to turn fact into legend and legend to myth. Today, we live in a world that has no time for myths, but try as they may, the demons have not erased them from history. We at the Vatican possess the most extensive collection of blacklisted items in the world. The boy overcame his temptation to ask the father how they'd acquired them. Through our universities and charitable organizations, we do what we can to remind them of the things they have been made to forget. That is why we are hated by the enemy, as are you. The boy responded casually as he flipped the pages. Nah, not me. I've never been involved with any of your organizations. What a shame, said the father. We must rectify that. The boy ignored him. I'm here because I was set up by a godless group of sycophants who've modeled themselves after another. I know, said the father impatiently. The demons, you see, cannot work their magic alone. They employ groups of familiars or imps, lesser illuminaries, but no less evil or dangerous. Many, like you, are self-made men, wealthy and powerful in their own right, and they believe, as their employers do, that they are now gods, with the right to give life and to take it away. They are the ones who set you up as well as your mother. The boy was too stunned to speak. His eyes were glued to the book and the sight of the most brilliant symbol he'd ever seen. 4 words, earth, air, fire, and water, written in a perfectly symmetrical Gothic script. He was so taken by it that he held up the book. This symbol here, what is it? That is the Illuminati diamond. Father Cronin's answer brought it all into focus. The symbol was the exact one that the gunman had made before his shots illuminated the lobby. That's the symbol them cowards threw up before they shot me. The boy closed the book and gave the father his full attention. What do you know about my mother? Your mother was once a rousing speaker and an asset to her cause. Only she and her God know if the charges brought against her were true, but it made no difference in the end. Her work with the movement was incidental. The real cause of her persecution was you. Me? What did I do? You were born, said the father. Surely you did not think God would abandon his creations. Since the beginning, prior even to religious orders, there have been those who do his work, conduits sent by him to relay the truth to mankind. They are the artists, and you, my child, are one of them. Who are the others? I am not at liberty to say. To know them, you must travel the way of the astrals to the house of your father.
Month 6, June.
The last time she'd set foot in a prison was 1987. The outcome is a one-time story, too personal for these pages. But a story she was sure to tell was the one of a night in 1959, the night she says led to her first trip to prison. It wasn't no secret. For weeks they'd been going from town to town. Each sunset brought the smell of burning crosses a little closer to us, and the sunrise made the stories of them raping little girls and hanging their mamas and daddies more vivid. Everyone knew the Klan was fed-o with the niggers and Indians entreating, but they were so bold they posted signs with the time and place of the rally. It wasn't no secret. Everyone in town knew what was coming but them. The field they chose was perfect for an ambush. One way in and one way out, and the road was surrounded by trees, but the Rosewoods weren't talking that night. They was quiet, waiting while about 200 Klansmen finished getting liquored up and tying nooses. Even though we was outnumbered 2-1, when your grandfather gave the signal, we all opened fire on them. It was a mess, shotguns and rifles exploding everywhere. I was 10 years old, your Aunt Stella was 13. Mama had dug us a ditch, and the 3 of us were in there. They was holding their ears and screaming, not me. I was watching your grandfather and your uncle fight for our lives. I got my first taste of revolution that night, and ever since then, it's been on. Marion was born in North Carolina in 1948 to sharecroppers who'd met in the fields. Her mother, Etta, a tiny, quiet, half-Cherokee girl, was spiritual, unlike her father, Pee-wee, a tinier, jet-black, take-no-shit alcoholic with a mean streak who made a living gambling after they had lost their land. The girls could always tell how the cards had treated him by the way he treated them. Marion grew up wishing her mother wasn't so passive. She wished she was more of a fighter, if for no one else but herself. The boy missed his mother, best friends at one point. They'd seen each other just a handful of times since he'd put her on the bus in '90. After that, they'd gone an entire year without speaking. By early 1992, he'd began receiving letters telling him about her recovery. Letters explaining about how after waking up one morning on Stella's bathroom floor, she'd summoned every bit of strength and checked herself into rehab. She said that she had it under control, but he'd heard Hat before. It would take more than words before he could trust her again. Then, in 93, Marion saw the headlines from Atlanta and thought, what the hell has my Hild gotten himself into? She packed her things and went to support him. In the courtroom, the boy took one look at her and found her eyes quick and bright, her face round and full, of grace as it once had been. Somehow, the little woman whose demons had torn her into a million little pieces had once again managed to pull herself together and on her way home. That's when he realized what he was witnessing, the evolution F.A. revolutionary. He felt lucky to have her there. He knew only she could truly understand how it felt to be in a fight against the world, but her presence also worried him. No sooner than she'd returned had she been put into these battles, and once again he was to blame. That's gonna be hell, he thought. Hugging on your son from a jail cell. Who knew if she was ready for that so soon? And for that reason, he'd forbidden her to visit him here. But as time went by, Marion could tell from the font of the letters she received that her son may have gone a little crazy. Neither one could hide the joy on their faces that morning when they met in the visiting room. Ma, what are you doing here? I came to see you, she said as they hugged. Well, I made it, he replied. Top of the world. The conversation started of light as the two caught up. Marion told him all about her beloved garden in the country house he'd brought for her before he went in, and he explained to her just how big a following he had in the prisons. A few hours later, the boy introduced her to her daughter-in-law when she came to visit. Nia left early and let them have some time to themselves. By the afternoon, they couldn't dance around the real topics any longer. Hey, Ma, when I was in elementary, did you ever think I'd end up here? Truthfully, yeah. Every day I prayed against it. But with our family history, all you needed to do was slip up once, and I knew what was waiting for you. So tell me really, how are you holding up in here? There are times when all I can think about is suicide. But when I hold that steel neck, all I can see is your eyes. All I can hear is your voice telling me, not be a punk. Marion closed her eyes and wondered, as always, how good of a parent she'd been. I'm glad you made the right decision, she finally said. I need you here. Your sister needs you here. And maybe you've forgotten, but your fans need you too. They're waiting for some of that thug shit. At least, that's what they tell me. The music is over, Ma. I ain't wrote nothing since I've been in here. I can't write. I can't get a moment's rest. I told you in the letters how I've been having these, I guess you'd call them crazy dreams. The boy watched as Marion's cigarette began to shake in her hand. She knew all too well the content of crazy dreams. But that's the thing, he said. They can't be dreams because lately I've been having them with open eyes. Marion flicked away her ashes. I had my share of those when I was in here, she said, steadying her nerves for what she was about to say. But I know what you're saying can't be true. Your music is as immortal as the angels that walk with you. Then she focused on her reflection in the window as she recalled. It was May of '71, the night before my trial, and I had the weight of the world on my mind. I hadn't slept. I hadn't ate. The only thing I knew for sure was that I was going to jail for the rest of my life, and I had no idea what they would do to you. The night guard, Marion cringed. I'll never forget his name or his face or his breath. He was on the floor beside me talking constantly. He never stopped talking. Even when he wasn't there, I could feel that foul, rotten breath whispering on my face, telling me to stop fighting, to give up, and he would make all my pain go away. The radio in the hallway was playing When the Music's Over by The Doors. She cringed and chuckled again as she shook it off. All that psychedelic shit about the girl in the mirror and what they'd done to our fair sister. I swear it was like the song was talking to me. I know they were talking about me. She was rocking from side to side. I couldn't take it. I was suffocating. There was all this pain on my chest, like something was on me. And you were kicking my stomach so hard I thought you were going to tear your way out of there. I was in so much pain. What did you do? I didn't know what else to do. I closed my eyes and prayed. I don't know how many times I said the Lord's Prayer. I just kept saying it over and over, and when I opened them, my eyes. She stopped her rocking and sat still. It all felt so strange. It was very surreal, like the room was the same yet different somehow. I tried to move, but I couldn't. I was paralyzed, and that's when I noticed Eblis had become this mass of smokeless fire, and the flames looked like they were fighting these two balls of light. What was I doing? Marion was all choked up. Nothing. You weren't moving at all. And when I realized that, I remember screaming so loud. The boy looked into her glazed eyes. But there was no sound, she whispered. It was like the scream of a butterfly. She mumbled incoherently. The boy tugged gently at her arm. Come back, Ma. She focused on him. I'm here. What happened? He asked. I saw Eblis running into the hallway yelling something about wanting the world, and that's when I looked down and saw the light. What light? Marion smiled at him. Your light. My belly was glowing, and you started moving again. And the next day, you beat the charges, he said. Yes, she replied, we did. Visiting hours were at an end. He kissed his mama goodbye and wiped away the tears seeping from her eye. I'm glad you came to visit today. You know you are appreciated. So are you. They hugged, and after a moment, a CO stepped forward to break their embrace. Marion took her son's hand and said, people don't believe this, but until we've given back more than we've received, our lives don't belong to us. In this life, we all have an obligation to fulfill. Mine was giving birth to you. What did you think mine is? I can't tell you, but I've seen you give your life to this music. So if you ask me, you don't owe nobody nothing, and that includes me. Whatever you accomplish from now on should be your hopes and your dreams. But let me warn you, baby, like your father once told me, the gods reserve a special place for folks crazy enough to try and fulfill their dreams. Month 7, Independence Day. Emancipated by her visit, the last 3 weeks of sleep had been the best the boy had gotten in months, but now his crazy dreams had been replaced by the unanswered questions about his father that had plagued him since a child. This July 4th, after the lights went out, and before he laid it down to sleep, he prayed the Lord his soul to keep. Soon after, he was startled by the approach of a figure that vaguely resembled Sergeant Peterson inside his cell. What the? Who are you? The figure didn't speak. Instead, it offered him one end of a red-knotted bandana. The boy understood. He took it and followed the figure through the cell door and on a night ride to the very heights of the prison, to a tier from which no tier would ever fall, known throughout Antonia as the mountain. At the pin, Nasul Surya stood ignited at the entrance to the old man's cell. Greetings, Prince. Greetings, replied the boy. One request, said Surya. Go easy on the old man. Long ago, he was full of big dreams and plans. Believing he could be or do anything that he wanted, he decided to change the world. So he dreamed up a plan that to this day unfurls, only to find out later that between what we dream and what we do lays this world. The boy had prepared his whole life for this, yet he was hesitant, his stomach queasy, thinking about the times when he'd lost faith in his father and questioned his means, and even worse, the times when he'd put his hopes and dreams on the scales of a triple beam. Not to worry, said Surya. All was permitted because nothing was true. Your sins are forgiven. You had the spirit of a thug in you. The boy remembered Marion's promise as he entered the cell. One day you'll get to meet him. He did. And that's the one memory that he kept just for him. But when his initiation was over, without warning, his surroundings changed. The floor of the cell gave way, and for an instant he found himself in good company, drifting amidst the stars of Empyrean. Then came the fall, and he fell longer and farther than he'd ever imagined he could. And when he awoke in his cell, he did so a new man, his mind set on new dreams, and his sights set on new plans. Month 8, August, he read, a man who might want to make a show of goodness in all things necessarily comes to ruin among so many who are not good. Because of this, it is necessary for a prince wanting to maintain himself to learn how to be able to be not good and to use this and not use it according to necessity. The Prince, by Machiavelli. And he wrote, month 9, September. Pooh had come to visit every month since April, and each visit had been laced with a tempting offer which the boy had always refused. But 9 months gestation in the belly of the penal colony had metamorphosized a military mind. Yeah, I know what I said before, but believe me, you fucking with a changed man. I'm a general now. Your enemies is my enemies, Pooh. They can kiss my ass from here to, he pointed through the window and across the street. Over there. Fuck them, it's on. I'ma destroy them cowards. When I get free, he moved in closer. Peep game, nigga. Let me tell you about
Mutton business as a rider.
month 10, October. Their alliance was as frail as the tissue it had been written on, but their signatures meant that the contract was binding. For how long he didn't know, and now was not the time for legalities, not as the freedom bell rang. Noakes and his hench men looked sad, as if they hoped he'd never leave. The voice of the prisoners was deafening as Peterson walked beside him, her body language seeming to on the means of his departure. Just beyond the outer walls was a fully stocked limousine waiting to sweep him off to the airport, where a red and white G4 was prepped and waiting to deliver the newest member of the firing squad family to his new home in Los Angeles. The limo door opened as they neared. Pooh got out with a big smile on his face and a bigger cigar in his hand. The general smiled back, tempted to scream, free at last, thank God. But God hadn't freed him from his inferno. Instead, it had been a Faustian pact with an underworld chieftain. The future was in his eye when he shook hands with Peterson. Don't go celebrating too hard in L.A., she said. Remember, you're out on bail. He stopped chewing his lip long enough to smile and assure her, that ain't even in the picture, what I look like celebrating when I'm living on borrowed time. I got too much work to do. On the plane, Kleinfeld and Pooh were noticeably more enthusiastic than he, even more so as the liquor flowed and they worked together, constructing plans for firing squad's future with the general in command. You really have no idea what a great decision you've made joining the organization, said a clearly intoxicated Kleinfeld. All those legal problems you've dealt with in the past no longer exist. My firm will take care of those. We're going to make your appeal a top priority. We'll get your conviction overturned, or at the very least get you off with time served. That you can count on, just ask Pooh here. Pooh nodded and asked for Kleinfeld's attaché case. Kleinfeld went inside and handed Pooh stacks of crisp $100 bills. He peeled off a few, gave those back to him and gave the rest to the general. There go a little something for your pocket, said Pooh. And it's plenty more where that came from. You ain't gotta be running around hustling songs and all that old crazy shit. You ain't gotta worry about money no more, period. I want your head in the game. I want you in the studio doing what you do. I got you the best security, too. You ain't got to worry about a thing. You a member of the family, Kleinfeld chimed in. You heard of La Cosa Nostra? Yeah, the 5 families, the Valachi papers, and all that, answered the general. Kleinfeld smiled. Exactly. I told you this nigga was smart, said Pooh. Good, said Kleinfeld. Well, let's just say my firm's history goes back to old country, the and Pooh should consider yourselves friends of ours. You Kleinfeld held up his glass and said a toast that he ended with, to strict observance. The glasses clinked and Kleinfeld drank as the general asked what that meant. Oh, that's just some Jew boy shit he always saying, explained Pooh. What's that other thing, Mishbuka? I think the motherfucker got him a little gang going something. They drank some more and Pooh had the flight attendant roll. The general some green as he got comfortable while phoning his loved ones to tell them the good news. When he'd finished, Pooh made a call and handed him the phone. Remember that little problem I told you I was having? Here, see if you can talk some sense into this nigga. The general took the phone. Who dis? Dis Q. What's up, nigga? Guess who? Pooh had kept the news on the low. His plan was to light a fire under the asses of his other artists. What? What's up, baby? What's the biz? Where you at? Wander Red Q. Nigga, I'm free like OJ. Me and Pooh about to touch down in Cali. Hey, you know we family now, right? Word. Oh yeah. And you know all eyes is on me to see what I'm about to do. I need you, Q. Meet a Mufaka in the studio with some of them bomb-ass beats. Q whined. Right now, as of late, most of his time had been spent in the bedroom of his suburban mansion with an endless stream of avant-garde personalities. It was a running joke in the industry about how it took him years to finish one song. Yeah, right now, get off your ass, nigga. I need some hits. Quincy obliged, and Pooh made good on all his promises. With his every need met and a bottomless cachet at his disposal, the general took flight. His destination? The Aeon, that place where energy and thought meet and dreams are brought to fruition. His return was welcomed. For 10 months, he'd been bound and unable to reach it. He basked in its glow and bathed in the ebb and tide of creation's flow. His mind was like a flower in bloom, his mouth emitting pollination for people. I track laid where fertile thoughts captured as both producers and artists fell by the wayside, attempting to keep up. In just 6 weeks, he'd fulfilled his promises. In every material for 2 discs already complete, he formed his own group, the Eternals. 7 loyal soldiers blessed with power to speak and reach the peeps on every street. Pooh was pleasantly surprised in the recoupability of his investment. Not since the last great war had there been a general like this one with the blood and guts to say what he meant and mean what he said, or one who'd made a vow to return and did. Just to be in the presence of him inspired the average person to do better by forcing them to look in the mirror. That's why Pooh's uneasiness was allayed when at last a request from the general was made, a sacrilegious request that Pooh was more than eager to grant. Queens. Come on, G, let me get at this nigga. I'ma rock the bitch to sleep. Yeah, that's the shit I'm talking about, nigga. Soldier, straight soldier. But this shit is personal. This motherfucker gonna die by my hand. Revenge is like the sweetest joy, or so the saying goes. So many thoughts, words, and memories were going through his mind. But it was his words, the ones he'd written exactly 6 months earlier, that he focused on. Ironic, he'd thought, how on the 1st of May he too would begin the vendetta that he hoped would bring about their end. Irony or something more? Questions like those always arise when speaking of plans. He knew now that his plans, as grandiose as they may have seemed, were just a modicum of another's. But what then of theirs? If that's the case, he thought, then everybody's got to play their part. He hit the tie twice and passed the rest to Stella's son, who was rolling with him. His lil cousin Kay, he too was a readah now. Gee, said the young cadet, choking of a long pull. We gots to stick to the plan. The general chuckled a bit. Nigga, you ain't know? This was the plan all along. You just drive. I got this bitch. He tossed the last of the blunt in all caution into the wind. How did it come to this? He remembered 7 years ago, then tried hard to shut the memories out. But of course they kept coming. It's said in hindsight, your vision becomes 20/20. Fuck that. You gonna remember some shit? Remember all the times that nigga lied? Remember the block and all the 3 a.m. oaths you and that nigga took? Remember them times when that nigga was supposed to be on the corner looking out and you looked up and there was 5-0 halfway down the block? Remember them lame excuses he'd give? Gee, they was on some real creep shit. Plus, you know it's kind of foggy and shit. I knew that fucking trick was sleep, he said lightly. It's that extra long smile they always give to hide the trace of hate. And through the years, the smiles had gotten longer, especially as the general's star began to shine brighter than his. And I still showed that nigga mad love. Gotta pay more attention to the signs. But close to 7 years ago, both of their visions were cloudy as they stepped across the threshold to make their weekend a dream come true. Inside the mind's eye, the boy had been shopping his demo for a while and had finally hit pay dirt in the form of a 1-album deal with Periscope Records. He'd taken J.I. along with him to sign the paperwork and to try and get him something, anything. Why? Because that's the rule. Leave no one behind. If one man made it, it's his duty to throw back a line. And though his deal was less than stellar, He succeeded in getting his homeboys some guest spots and production credits on 2 songs. That was on a Tuesday afternoon. By Friday morning, when they picked up their advance checks, J.I.'s smile was extra long. Damn, thought the boy, I did my best. You go ahead and handle your business with you cheese, he said to J.I. as they left Periscope's offices. Re-up, hit your people off, get your rims. I got us this weekend. J.I. seemed to be genuinely touched by the act. Man, that's real, thanks, G. Till the end, that's how it's gonna be, said the boy. You ain't never had a friend like me. The Amazon, August 89, 3:33 a.m. Pow! 1 shot and a second of silence, followed by 6 more in succession, were enough to shatter that dream about the day they got signed. The boy got off 2 shots, then fell off the milk crate into the cognac and cards. He tossed that pistol to J.I., who was fumbling with the safety on his 380. I'm going for them 14s in the bushes, he yelled. J.I. let off the last 4 shots in the 22, while the boy got the big guns. 2 black Ninas came out the back of the car. J.I. tried the 380 again. Tat, tat, tat. A fiend someone was serving screamed and ducked behind a dumpster as bullets from the 14s shattered the back windshield and blew out a rear tire. Blood squirted from the window and onto the street. Gunfire and sparks from the douche and a quarter lit up the night. J.I. had managed to hit the passenger door with a couple of shots before the car sped off. Punk B aches, yelled the boy. I'll get you fuckers back before I'm buried. A troop in green basketball shoes ran toward the scene yelling, Y'all niggas straight? 2 more soldiers followed him. All were strapped. Yeah, said J.I. wide-eyed. Hell yeah, said the boy squeezing off 2 more rounds. I got that trick in the back seat. Smoke from the fire, from the guns and tires filled the air as police sirens neared. J.I. was overwhelmed when he began speaking. Nigga, if you ain't come with... Fuck that dumb shit. He came with it like he always do, said
Green shoes.
the boy and J.I. gave each other a quick pound and an even quicker hug. As the 5 troops scattered into the abyss, 3 of them took an oath to stop dreaming and to get this entertainment shit moving, and most importantly, to always have the others back. Ignorance or innocence, youth, I'd say. Youth is a beautiful thing, beautiful and fleeting. So dawn goes down today. Robert Frost, Queens. Now, close to 7 years later, the streets of New York weren't the only things that had grown cold. December was just over 24 hours away, and holiday cheer was spreading throughout the boroughs. But in some parts of the city, cheer never spreads and death knows no holidays. Over time, some parts of the oath had blossomed beyond their expectations. Others had died like their friend with the shoes. It had been years since he'd been murdered in the streets, but the general still couldn't let go. With his eyes getting blurry, he loaded the clip and thought, damn, why they take another soldier? I remember my oath. Now let's see if this trick remembers his. Soon, a faded memory would be all that remained of the oath. A black Acura Integra sat empty at one end of the block. At the other end sat a red Chevy Camaro, both stolen. 4 men sat in that vehicle, but if the measure of a man is the quantity of his heart, the Chevy was just as empty. More soldiers willing to die for the cause. Maybe not the exact same cause, but they were loyal and would follow his orders. He'd learned there was power in numbers, but again as personal, and he'd ordered them to stay in the car.
Truth be told, 10 months in prison had taught him many things.
One lesson, to thyself be true. He gave up to the final instructions to his young cadet. In his heart, he prayed the 2 of them would never come to this. With his entire being, he hoped that this would be his last tour. He knew his time was near. He'd felt the shadow's depth exactly a year ago tonight when Judas finally revealed himself.
The night he'd set him up to get stuck up. The night he'd heard the guns bust, but the shots could not shut him up. He thanked them for those 5 bullets.
They'd slowed him down long enough for him to get a question answered. The question that should be first on everyone's list. And fuck getting the answers secondhand. He'd gone to the source and asked for himself. The answer had startled him only because he'd known it all along. We're all soldiers in God's eyes. Now, he said lightly, it's time for war. Kay approached Judas from the back as he left a building and walked toward the corner store. The general shook his head at his former comrade's predictability. K spoke first. Big man, you know what time it is. Run your shit. Judas turned to run and stopped, wide-eyed once again, as the general stood in front of him with his gun drawn. I always told you that late-night drinking would get the best of you. Judas's eyes dropped to the general's feet. Look, G. The general cut him off. Nah, you look, say, G, you remember the oath, nigga? Yeah, said Judas softly. Give a bitch nigga a little power, time, and money, and all of a sudden he think he a god. Your new friends got you thinking you a god? Asked the general. Nah, G, Judas said, suddenly emancipated. I just work for him. He smirked and hit the blunt he was holding. It's true. You never feel more alive than when you are about to die. K slapped Judas with his gun. You weak-minded bitch, we about to do you a favor. Maybe in your next life you'll come back as a man. The general wanted to laugh, scold, and congratulate him all at the same time. Nigga, you sound stupid, said the general. I used to tell you all the time. All the answers is written somewhere. All you had to do was look. But nah, you wanted to take this route. You spent your whole life being foul and wilding out. Now after all the dirt think done, you just gonna gracefully bow out? Ain't but one God, Judas. And that nigga you running with ain't him. Nigga, you the stupid one. These cats is rich. They got troops. We are legions, cried Judas. They already peeped your plan, G. I hope you've been reading your verses, tithing, and being a good Christian, 'cause they coming for you. The general lifted the blunt from his fingers and took a long pull before giving it back to him. Father, bless me, please. This thug life is gonna be the death of me, Jay. For a moment, the city that never sleeps fell silent until at the corner a car door opened, and through the woofers, a soldier received his orders. Excerpt 51.
I see death around the corner any day, trying to keep it together. No one lives forever anyway, struggling, striving. My destiny's to die, keep my finger on the trigger. No mercy in my eyes. Y'all niggas stop acting like pussies out here, all right?
Tears swelled in both their eyes. Judas moved back silently, begging for mercy. The general sniffed and granted the last wish of what was once a friend. Get on the wall, close your eyes, Jay. He did. Now get on your knees and pray. The general put the gun to his head. You lie, you die. Nothing gold can stay. Robert Frost.